Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Salt and Sauce podcast, looking at Hearts and Hibs. We've got two best mates supporting either club here. Robert as a Hibs fan, myself as a Hearts fan. And such is the level that we're operating at now. The main thing we're looking at this week is European fixtures. That's just where we're at, Robert. Very impressive. But we've also got the return to league action at the weekend as well. Um, Robert, I thought we'd start with Hibs. I would describe your result as the better result, albeit, purely looking at the game, slightly more boring result. Um, I'm going to just say it, impressive stuff from Hibs, actually. We were saying, again, decent team, good sort of European pedigree and all that. Hibs can shoot themselves in the foot. They have been known to do that over the years, but you went there and you got a really, really good result, and you're in a good position now for the second leg. What did you make of it?
Yeah, just exactly what you say, really. Like, there's not a great deal to unpack with the game. We set up our stall with a kind of low block, a bit too back to front for my liking. We, again, kind of keeping the ball was the issue. But actually, I thought for an away performance where we were underdogs, which we were,
Yeah.
um, it was kind of like going away to the likes of, Rangers, Celtic. You defensively solid. One or two hairy moments. Needed our keeper on a couple of occasions, but I actually thought, to a man, we defended heroically, and we have not. Okay, we've done it a few times this season, but over the years, certainly, it's kind of all or nothing. I think last year we were saying that we're either great
Yeah.
or we're terrible. There's nothing in between, and this was one that's in between. Like, we
Solid.
could have kept the ball better. We could have probably, like, I think probably gave them a bit too much respect. But I think for a game plan going over there when you're away the first leg, to bring back home to Easter Road on Thursday, I thought it was a very, very impressive
Yeah.
performance, and I was actually really impressed how Gray organised the team. They kept in their shape. Again, he said himself, we could have kept the ball better and things, but you know, this stage of the season, the game's coming thick and fast. I just thought it was an excellent performance, and look, it wasn't pretty. And I said to you, I hope we go over there and just smother the game, because if you go open, they're going to have players that hurt you. Um, but I think the psychology of it was, let's bring it back while we're still in the game. We're more than in the game,
Oh yeah.
and will be more than a match for them on Thursday. But well done, Hibs. Well done, the players. All the squad players that came on as well. They all stuck to their task. The likes of even Lowe. I've seen him get a bit of criticism online. That boy ran himself into the ground, like a thankless task being up front on your own. Now I never did it, as you know, because I was a penalty box striker. I let others do the running. I got the glory, but like, he ran himself selflessly for the team, and you need that in Europe. That's why a lot of people say, the likes of Shankland, he's not a European striker because he's not going to do that same amount of running, but he will be there when you get the chance. But you do need a player that's just going to close down, chase lost
Yeah.
causes, be a nuisance, and he did that the full game. Okay, he didn't score, he didn't really create anything, but like, seeing that level of work rate, it's infectious, and everyone else kind of followed from there. So no qualms about it at all. Delighted with that performance, and bring on Thursday.
There is maybe one qualm, and that is just that it could have been better, given that you obviously missed the penalty. That must have been, look, don't get me wrong. I said right at the start, it's a great result, and I full of praise for Hibs actually, for a good, I would describe it, solid performance. But that missed penalty must, you can't help but think what could have been.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Although I'm saying on it, on the face of it, I'm more than happy.
Yeah,
No qualms whether if someone had offered me that before the game, I would have
yeah, yeah, yeah.
literally took your hand off. But the thing for me is, right, Campbell has just scored a high pressure penalty. He's
Eyebrows.
on the field, and he just did it away to Rangers, sent the keeper the wrong way, and Elding stepping up, a young lad, look, full of confidence. You don't knock that, but you
Good for him.
just think now he might be the designated penalty taker. We don't know, because I don't think he was on the pitch when Campbell took it.
Right.
So
Okay.
I'm willing to go there, but I just think in decision making before the match, like, it's kind of standard. You go, the person who's just taken a penalty, a high pressured one, and scored it, one of
Yeah.
our most senior players. There you go. But That was and it was. I don't care. People are saying it wasn't a poor penalty. It was a poor penalty. It was a very poor penalty. It was easy for the keeper to save. You could see what way he was going. It was a poor penalty, and I just think, why was Josh Campbell not on that? Because
I know.
if he goes up and misses it, you're saying, right, okay, well, he scored that one. It's a natural he takes it. Whereas Eldon stepping up, it was kind of just like, I was waiting for him to hand it to Campbell.
Yeah, because you do that quite a
And
lot now,
then,
don't you?
yeah, and I think probably the occasion just got to him a little bit. Because he's a good striker of the ball, Eldon, and
Yes,
I
I mean, he
still
has a
would have
good game.
fancied him to score.
Yeah, I mean, any player should be scoring a penalty because you've got such an advantage. But the defense of that is that anyone can miss a penalty.
Of
It
course,
happens.
and pressure and everything else. But
Of course,
yeah, that
it's,
was,
it's just a
you're
bizarre
quite
one.
right. That
It's a
was,
bizarre one because, as you say, Campbell was on the pitch. He's just scored one, and saw a lot of Hibs fans saying, "Well, who's to blame for that? Is if Campbell's the penalty taker, he should be doing it." But I suppose the other argument, look, if Elding is the penalty taker and that's been agreed,
yeah,
then all it is a missed penalty, and
the missed penalty.
that
Yeah,
happens, and it's
yeah.
poor, and you should do better. But yeah. Anyway, I agree with you. Given the circumstances, you could have had more, but I agree. 0-0 before the game would have been a great result, and still is a good result. Um, so Hearts obviously also got a draw against good European opposition, Rapid Vienna, good team who moved the ball well, but it was just slightly different, a little bit more back and forth, lots of chances in the game, and I think both teams can say this summed up their season quite a bit.
Mm,
Hibs nice and solid without being spectacular.
yeah.
Hearts at times brilliant, and other times just you're tearing your hair
Mm,
out. And it started off with hair tearing. The game was fairly even. They probably moved the ball a bit better. They've got that European caliber of player. Um, but a set piece, they scored from a set piece. Of course they did, because that's what happens at Hearts at the minute. And what frustrated me even more is it was one where they took a corner, they took it short, and then he played it to another guy on the edge who dinked it to the back post. And their centre half, who must have been about, he was like you sitting on your own shoulders, Robert. He was genuinely about twice your height. Now you're not the tallest of guys, but he was a big boy, and I couldn't really see anyone too near him, and he just nods it into the net. The thing that frustrated me is Benfica did the exact same move. Now they missed, they got their header and missed, so nobody really saw it again. But I just remember thinking that was a really simple move, and we fell for it. So we
mm.
followed for the same simple move, but this time they've scored. So really frustrating, and we go in at 1-0, having been okay. Could have been better, but we weren't. It weren't as if they blew us away. The keepers made a couple of good saves, definitely, and there was no doubt. I think that they deserved to be in the lead at half time. In fairness, but then second half we came out brilliantly. We were getting the ball out to McPake a lot more. I'm really excited about McPake as a signing. He's physical, he's aggressive, he's direct, but he's also got ability. He's got a lot of talent. He gets crosses in. This one, the stadium announcer read him as the goal. For me, it's an own goal all day long. It's very similar to the Hibs one at Ibrox, actually. But it comes from, and this is going to sound far fetched, Kabori doing some good hold up play, and then playing it
Yeah,
out, and McPake just driving at them, not going back, not checking back, not playing it to fullback. I mean, how often do we see wingers doing that? And both of us are getting frustrated when it's your own team.
Kabori's a strange one. Like
Well,
he's
not for me. He's not. He's
like
just bad. He's just
he's
bad.
fast. He's athletic. He's big. He's strong. He gets himself in the situations, and then he just I don't really know what happens. But it's funny to watch.
Yeah, and there'll be times you'll look brilliant, and I can imagine sometimes marking him must be tough because you don't know what he's going to do next. But I don't think he
Yeah,
knows what he's going to do next either. It is. We used to talk about Amiobi being like that, and
yeah,
it is a bit like that. But I have to say, like it was perfect what he did. One touch out his feet, we reverse pass round the corner, and McPake was in. McPake plays it with pace along the box. Their defender sticks out a foot, and it goes into the net. I mean, it is an own goal, and I remember saying Hibs were unlucky when it happened to them at Ibrox. But the other side of that, and I would say it for Rangers as well at the time, is they've kind of forced the issue
yeah,
by getting the ball out wide and getting into the box.
yeah.
So because it's Hearts, obviously, well done, and well done McPake for doing that. Now the second goal, please tell me you've seen James Wilson's
I've
goal,
seen it. I've seen that one.
and just hands up, that's a peach.
It reminds me of a goal I scored against you on FIFA when we were like 12.
With Robbie Savage.
It was a beauty. Yeah, no, look, it was a good goal. I can't
But
say
that's
anything else.
but you used to get the ball in the halfway lane and just press circle full blast, and
There's skill in that. There's skill in that.
Well, there maybe is, because I used to try it and it never worked. You were the luckiest.
Timing and direction, it's all about.
Right.
But no, it was a good goal, to be
It was
fair.
a great goal. And what I liked about it is obviously the keeper's a bit far out, and that's kind of why he gets caught out. But it was a bit like McFadden v France to have the pluck to do that and the
Mm,
courage to do that. You know, he brings it down nicely. Wilson's been great the last couple of games he's come on, holding it in, and you know, for a young kid who's built like the side of a £5 note, like he's got himself involved and looked every bit the player Kabori pretends to be. But it's a great strike in the top bin anyway, and the keeper's not expecting it. But that's why he's done it. You do it early, the keeper's not expecting it, and just everyone. It was an extra loud cheer because it's an academy player. It's people
yeah,
want
of
to see a bit
course.
more of him, and he is. He is a good young player, Wilson. He'll do well. I don't know where
Yeah.
he'll be, but he'll do well. Stadium was absolutely rocking at this point. Obviously, 2-1 would be a great result, and you just. I don't know what's going to happen tonight in Vienna. We'll come to that in a little bit. But obviously, their equaliser was a bit of a sucker punch. I have to say, we're at fault again. I think. I mean, they moved it well, so I don't want to take anything away from them. But it's not a Rapid Vienna podcast. So we just had chances to clear it, and we didn't. The ball looked like it was going out, and I feel like we switched off a little bit. And it's. I mean, it definitely doesn't go out. It's on the line, but it doesn't go out. And that's when it gets cut back, and it just goes through a sea of players and into the net. So credit to them for keeping it alive, but I feel like we just could have got rid of it. We could have had a better clearance to begin with. We could have stayed a bit more alert until the ball is definitely out. And it flattened the atmosphere a bit. That was with about 10 or so minutes to go. And I think the whole stadium was a little bit like, it actually reminded me a bit, although nowhere near as much, of when we found out after the Falkirk game at the end of last season, when we found out Celtic had a penalty for a park and everyone's on their phones. It's like you've just had this great result and you might be about to win a league, but everyone was a bit flat, and it was such a
Deflating.
strange one. Although this one on far less of a scale than that.
I can tell
So
you it wasn't deflating when I found out that Celtic had got the penalty.
I know, I know.
One of my
Well,
highlights of last season.
yeah, but you were in the VAR room at the time, were you not?
I was, I
Yeah,
was. What can
as
I
a
say?
stonewaller.
Stonewall.
So anyway, without opening that can of worms again, 2-2, probably on the balance of things, a fair result. I thought we had the better of the second half, they had the better of the first half. So 2-2, fair enough, I guess, and we had other chances that we could have scored, the other chances they could have scored. But so now we go into this one in Vienna now, 11v11. I think we're a match for them. No major issues with that. My real worry with this is we're still just so suspect defensively. Now we
Mm,
can get goals and that's great. We've started working out how to score
yeah,
goals. That's big. It's just a case of, are we going to score enough to make up for what we're probably going to concede
yeah.
at the back? I would be amazed if we kept a clean sheet out there, because they're
Mm,
actually they are a neat football team. Vienna.
yeah.
They did move it nicely at times. Lovely little patterns of play, good intelligent runs at times. Way more than what you see when you're playing most Scottish teams.
I think it's a technical from the bits that I saw, like it's a technical ability in terms of that one touch pass and like
Yeah.
you see it all the time in the SPFL, like a ball comes at someone quickly, it just goes out of play and you're just like, nah.
But they do little
So
triangles that, like we did that when the ball goes into Kabori and McPake's making the run. We did that and we got a goal from it, but it's not like I can't say that we do that for 90 minutes.
no.
I don't think Hibs can say that they do it for 90 minutes. Whereas teams like Rapid Vienna, and I mean, certainly Benfica, my God,
Yeah.
it's a different style of play. So
So are you gonna go through?
I think, yeah, I think we will.
Wow.
It
Okay.
massively depends on the team we put out. It massively depends on the team we put out. I think we're as equally likely to go through as we are to get beaten 4-0. It's so
Okay.
hard to predict Hearts at the minute.
So you're kind of on the fence then.
Yeah, massively. And if I could
Yeah.
sum it up, it's probably that heart says yes, head says maybe at the minute.
Okay. So you're not a no anywhere.
Oh no, I'd never really like to say no. Like even other than when we went into the Benfica second leg, um, if you'd said to me, "Do you think you could get a result in Benfica?" I would have said, "Well, maybe actually. we could get a draw.
Mm,
Obviously, we were far from that. But
mm.
that's the whole point of being a fan. Very
Oh, of
rarely,
course.
very rarely would the answer be no, other than like I say that second leg.
Yeah.
Same question to you, mate. Hibs, are they going through?
Difficult one. Again, I'm hoping just the atmosphere, the crowd, the
Home advantage.
home advantage will put out our strongest team. The likes of Nicky Cadden back, could he be thrown in to make the difference in terms of set pieces? We will create chances. We've shown ourselves to be, touch wood, I hope I don't regret this, but over the last few games, defensively solid.
5-0
Um, yeah, exactly. So like we're not conceding much, but we're also not scoring a lot. So this has extra time written all over it, and it wouldn't surprise me if it goes to penalties.
It's so funny, Hearts and Hibs are very much the polar opposites of each other right now.
Yeah.
Hearts, and I genuinely mean this, are playing some really, really exciting, good to watch stuff. Maybe not as good for you to watch, but certainly good for us and neutrals to watch. And you'll enjoy watching us defending, I imagine, at the minute.
Mm.
And similarly with Hibs, it can be pretty eye bleeding at times, but
Yeah.
you're getting a lot of clean sheets, and they always talk about strikers win you games, defences win you leagues, and all that. Not that I think Hibs will win the league.
I'm expecting a pretty cagey game, to be honest. I think that there will be nerves. It's a huge game. First time we can get through the group stages, through the hardest path as well. Like, having to go through 3 playoffs to effectively get there against a better ranked team, much better ranked team. They'll be up for it as well. They'll fancy themselves. I'm just hoping that we'll have the edge. Have I seen enough to be, rather than a yes or no, I'd go on a percentage. 52% says yes.
That's a controversial percentage in Britain.
It's controversial, but that's my thinking.
Especially when discussing Europe, but there you go. Well, no, fair enough. Yeah, I get it. I think Hibs have probably got more chance of going through than Hearts just because you've got the home advantage.
It's a home advantage.
I think, and I don't know. Well, I think Rapid Vienna are ranked quite a bit higher than Ghent, so I would give Hibs more chance of going through. But
Yeah.
it wouldn't surprise me to see both teams in there. But
No.
I could also see both teams sitting in Edinburgh come the group phase as well. So we'll find out. Right. More importantly for both of us, I think, is league games, league fixtures. We're both pretty set in stone when it comes to prioritising that league. We are at home to St Johnstone on the Saturday. Now, thankfully, I've managed to get out of a party that we were meant to be going through, a bouncy castle party.
Nice.
So I'll be there and very much looking forward to it. St Johnstone play some nice football and all that, and I rate what they're doing. I like the guy Valakari and all that. But we absolutely should be winning that game. St Johnstone at home, both teams would be expecting to win that, as in Hibs and Hearts. So I'd like to see it probably similar to the Dundee United game. Will it be? I mean, I suppose they're quite open. It could be the sort of game we score 3 or 4. But I mean, anything like a 2-0 or something like that, I'd be fine with that. It'd be nice to get 3 points, but given the way things have gone, I'd love to see a clean sheet as well. Would be nice. And at the risk of sounding arrogant, I think this is a sort of game we can be asking for that. Because we are, whatever you want to say about Hearts, we're one of the top teams in the league against a newly promoted team, and we're at home. So all of those things, we should be at least a reasonably, or if not very, comfortable victory.
Yeah, it's hard to argue against it. The one thing would be, the defending, where it would surprise me as well to see St Johnstone score 2 the first half, Hearts to come back and maybe win at 3-2. So
yeah, absolutely.
Anything can happen. And look, that there must be for you an element of excitement in that, but it's also, anything can happen as well. But look, I'm not going to say, as much as I'd love Valakari and the boys to do a job, I would be surprised if Hearts don't win that.
Yeah, no, I think it's fair. But listen, Hearts and Hibs have let us both down enough time over the years to know that.
Oh, yeah.
There's no guarantee. Speaking of which, Hibs away to, is it Dundee or Dundee United?
Dundee, yeah, tough one.
Yeah, they're playing well.
I watched the Dundee derby and I was really impressed. They kept the ball. I think Big Elvis has them playing good football.
What a job he has done there.
He has. Everyone laughed at him, but actually he's done a great job.
Yeah, and it's quite pragmatic at times and all that, but actually at times they actually play some nice football. I mean, I saw some.
No, they did.
When they played Aberdeen. I mean, Aberdeen for me are not a great team. I know we lost to them, but Dundee played them off the park. They were brilliant.
Yeah. And they're good. They're comfortable. They're fighting for each other. They'll work their socks off. They won't give it up. Really, really tough one.
And it's at
Again,
Dens as well, of course. So
and it's after Thursday, and obviously it depends how Thursday goes. Is extra time, penalties, all that emotion, and then you're going away to Dundee. Like, you can understand the psychology of the players.
I mean, in
I'd
some
still
ways,
bet on us winning it. I'd still bet on us doing enough to get through.
yeah. Based 11v11, but when you take all those factors into account,
Yeah,
there is an argument that in some ways Dundee will be expecting a
it
victory.
evens a game.
Yeah.
It evens a game a lot, the playing field. But I would still back us. If not a win, then a draw. I'd be surprised if we lost.
More than most games, though, this is one you could so easily slip up.
Absolutely.
There's huge potential for it.
Yeah.
And I would expect Hibs to win. I'd probably put it down as a draw just because of all those things. Dundee will have had that extra rest that Hibs won't have had because of European
Yeah.
football. If you go to extra time, if you, even worse, lose that or go to penalties and lose that, you've got all the fatigue in the legs, but also the deflation of such a near miss. Whereas Dundee are coming in having just won a derby.
Yeah.
It's polar opposites at that point.
Devaney coming in as well. That was a good signing.
Aye, yeah, that is a good signing actually. Is that on loan?
That was a good signing. Yeah, it's all done.
Is it on loan?
On loan with an option to buy.
Yeah, mate.
So
yeah,
I think that's excellent business, and I think he's the type of player, having seen him for St Mirren, that it's what we need. Someone that's going to play a forward pass, someone that can get about the pitch. But his first thought isn't that sideways, backwards pass. He gets it from the defence and gets you moving. And we've been crying out for that type of player for a long time. So, no, really, really good. I may also sign Colton Swan, but we don't get him till January. He's just a big unit up front.
Your type of striker.
My type of striker, I love that. So we'll wait and see. But look, I would still think we should beat Dundee, but obviously depending on how tomorrow night goes, we will see. But a draw wouldn't. A draw wouldn't be the worst result ever.
No, it's the sort of game you would kind of understand it at this stage. Yeah, totally. Well, we'll find out next week how obviously the European games have gone, how those league games have gone. But basically, based on what we're saying, both teams will qualify and are going to get 3 points at the weekend. So we're nothing if not optimistic. But
exactly.
That's what it's all about, being a fan.
Yeah.
Right, folks, thanks for tuning in. Again, obviously, like, subscribe, comments, all these sorts of things, and we'll see you all next week.
See you next week.